What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. So, The King on Netflix. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I do give this a 7 out of 10 just because it was very, very focused on just one particular battle. You know what I'm saying? Although the significance of that battle was to win the war between England and France. But I just want to say the performances in this movie were so good. Timothy Chalamet, however you pronounce his name, sounds and acts just like a young Ben Mendelsohn. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here for it. He did such a phenomenal job in this role, seeing how you're the outcast, bastard prince, and then you just rise up to become who you need to be king. I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was kind of thrown off of, I don't really know what to think about this, but then you start just watching. I'm like, I'm just here just to watch the movie, just purely watch it. And the performances, again, like I said, Ben Mendelsohn was playing, I believe, Henry V, and he was like very, very sick. So he was at the end of his life term, you know what I'm saying? And then he had all these sons, and he had one son in particular that was going to be, that head honcho. He was going to be the next king. And it's old boy from Game of Thrones, Dean Charles Chapman. And he was supposed to play, Dean Charles Chapman plays Ben Mendelsohn's son, which is he's the heir to the throne, and he's out there at war. And then you have Timothy Chalamet, who's the bastard son of the king. And them two are at war, and he's like, man, look, I've been swinging the sword all my life. You just been, high road to your whole life. You're just trying to prove yourself. You're going to get killed in a line of war. So he goes out, the start of the movie, he just goes out, kills the dude, and was like, hey, I just saved your life so you could be king. I don't want to be king. I just want to make sure, you're good. You're the king. You leave me alone. And he's so pissed off at him, like, you shouldn't have did that. You stole my glory, you stole my thunder, and everybody's going to be wanting you to be king, so I hate you. So they pretty much banish him, like, out of it, like, away from the thrones, like, stay away, you're never going to be king, stay away from here. Which was fine with him. He lived among commoners, had a dude, look out for him his whole life, knew who he was versus all the commoners, like, I know who you are. And so he, like, just got, looked out for him. All he did was drink, just look out for him. And to his dismay, he hears that, the king is dying. He's very, very sick. So he comes in and was like, also he hears, Dean Chapman's character, which is, his half-brother, is dead. So now you're set to be king. And it was like, well, let me go talk to him, because, he was like, man, he's very, very sick. I don't care. He shouldn't have did this. I got straight words for him, like, you shouldn't have been doing this. So pisses him off, and then you see the ascension that he has to become king. He has to deal with all the stuff, as being a king, a young king. And then his only thing that he really wanted to do was just, make sure everything was under English rule, because it's just too many people going back and forth, too many wars. Just make it all one rule, and we just like, man, we'll be good. So here you are as a king, first order of business is you're going to, go to war with France. You're just tired of it, just go to war with them. And the best performance out of all these characters was Robert Pattinson. Yes, Batman. The new Batman. I'm convinced he will be a Batman, a good Batman, after watching The King. They said he was good in Lighthouse. I didn't watch it, but this, I watched it. His performance of playing a French prince was spot on. Damn. I was like, okay, you ain't playing. You really trying to get your acting chops in. And I love it because this dude's accent of a French person, man, I was like, yeah, you got it down packed, dude. And just when he got introduced, and just how he was saying that speech, and just like, I hear your children screams and moans, and I'm like, this dude sound terrifying, like, man. And I'm just like, you give me this Game of Thrones Jon Snow versus Ramsay Bolton vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, This whole movie was just a Jon Snow Battle of the Bastards, you know, within Shakespeare. I love it. That's why I was like, this is just a full synopsis of it was just that. And I loved it. I loved the battle. I love the mind games Robert Pattinson, you know, initially played. It was like, I'm going to go behind the army, go kill the kids, cut the head off, bring it to the other kid and scare them, you know. So, and they doubted, you know, because everyone, as far as the new king, they wanted him dead, so he didn't know when to trust. So he goes back and finds the guy that was helping him while he was amongst commoners. Like, I heard you was a, you know, you said you was a war lieutenant. Come with me so we can know what's going on. And then he gave him the map about, you know, hey, this is where you need to fight him at. You got an advantage. We can get him. We can win. And everyone laughed at that. Everyone scoffed at it. But when the war, you know, started going, brilliant war scene, brilliant battle scene, the terrain, all that. Like, I'm like, when you talk about war, the only thing I loved about Game of Thrones initially was the strategizing that they did around war. You know what I'm saying? Like, just paying attention to the terrain is like this. You're gonna fight them in this over here. So you just got to see how the strategizing and how all the stuff was taking place when it came to war. So I was like, okay, this is dope. And he starts that war, and then it's just finally like, yeah, you know, everything going, and the war ends, and you find out that he was right all along. Like they kind of shunned him off, but you find out that he was right all along. Although he gave his life for it, but he was like, you know, hey, this is what's going to make your name. This is what's going to make you king. Everyone's going to love you after this. And he was right. He just had to give his life for it. You know what I'm saying? He was out there in the front lines. He was like, man, it has to be me. And he was like, no, what? It's not gonna work unless I go out there. He begged him not to go, and he was like, man, I'm gonna come out there with you. He was like, no, don't be stupid. I'm telling you. And I thought he was gonna survive it, and then, you know, it's like, nah, he's not. So the war was muddy, it's gritty. It was just like, you know, Battle of the Bastards, just kind of like breathing, like, man, you seen real war, and this is how it was. And I'm just like, man. But end of the day, they won. And then you see Robert Pattinson's character was like, oh yeah, we finally ready to war. And then it's so muddy, he can't even get his right stance because he's so used to shooting bow and arrows. He's not, you know, that one-on-one combat style. So he was like, yeah. And they just get him. And then that's where everybody was like, damn, like, okay. So he makes the name after that. And that's why I love it, because I'm like, I give this, like I said, a 7 out of 10 because I love the story. It was cut to the chase. It was more just a build-up for the war and how he became king. And it's told within a 2-hour time frame. I want to say, give or take, like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So it's a lot to cram in, you know, and usually medieval movies like this take over like a runtime of 3 hours. So they crammed it in, and that's why people kind of, you know, could have been drawn out, could have been really cool, but they knew what they were doing. They wanted to give you the action highlights to make it good. So, if you guys enjoyed my review of The King, subscribe to my channel, post a comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.